Video up. Metabolic damage seems to be the tag that gets the most hits on my website. So I wanted to kind of elaborate a little bit more on my experience with it, and also I'll touch a little bit on reverse dieting, which is basically building your metabolism back up. When I first started losing weight in February of 2012, I didn't count calories or anything. I just started eating a lot healthier. I lost weight consistently, and then in September, I decided that I wanted to compete in a bikini competition. So I didn't start prep in September. I started prep around November, not too strictly, but started prep around November. Started using MyFitnessPal every day to count my calories. At that point, I wasn't quite sure what my macros should be. I basically did like a 40-40-20 split. But as far as the grams go, I was like, whatever. I think at that point, I was probably eating around 1,700 calories a day, working out 5 days a week, a mix of lifting and cardio. I leaned out a little bit by December. I probably lost like 3 or 4 pounds, nothing crazy. Yeah, because I was weighing in around 152 in November, and then in December I was down to 148. Over the holidays, I wasn't super strict. My show was going to be at the end of March, by the way. So, I was still pretty far out. Ate kind of not whatever I wanted and however much I wanted, but I wasn't too strict with myself. And then I really started serious prep in January. At this point, I was probably down to 1,600 calories a day or so, still working out 5 days a week, mix of cardio and lifting. By the end of January, I was around 146, so another couple pounds, nothing crazy. I wasn't leaning out very fast, and I knew my calories were already pretty low, so I hired a coach. I sent her all my numbers and everything so that she could see where I was at and where I needed to be. She gave me a new set of macros and calories based off of what I was doing, because when I contacted her, I think I was like 9 weeks out, which is not a lot of time. She was hoping that I would step on stage around 130 pounds, and at that point I was like 145 or 146. So I had a lot of work to do. Basically, I got down to the point where I was eating around 1,350 calories, which is much too low, but when you're prepping for a show, you kind of got to do what you got to do. I hate to say it that way because it's not smart. But if your metabolism is that crappy to where you're not losing a lot of weight eating, 1,350 calories a day, then there's really no fixing it. Like getting ready for a show, there's no way to fix it. The only way to fix it is to build your metabolism back up by eating more. So I ended up pulling out of the show. Not only for that reason, I mean, I could have cut my calories lower and screwed my metabolism up even more, but just financial reasons. I felt like I wasn't ready. I wasn't there mentally. I was very emotional all throughout my prep. Saying no to pizza has never been so hard. Like, even when I was dieting before, it wasn't a big deal to say no to it, and then all of a sudden it was a huge deal. I was like emotional about it. But basically, I pulled out of the competition. And once you do that, you can't really just go back to normal eating. Because if I were to go from 1,350 calories a day up to eating whatever the hell I wanted, or like 2,000 calories a day, then I would obviously put on a lot of weight. So I looked into reverse dieting. at that point. I believe my lowest weight was right around 142. I looked into reverse dieting, and I wasn't as consistent as I should have been with it. It's recommended to increase your grams of carbs by around 10 grams a week. So let's say 1 week you're eating, I was down to 120 grams. So 120 grams, the week after you bump it up to 130, after that 140. And if you notice too much weight gain, you can kind of stall it for a week or two. I personally like to keep my protein around 1 gram per pound of body weight, because it's been proven that it's totally unnecessary to go over that. You can build muscle and maintain muscle with just 1 gram per pound of body weight. I have trouble hitting that most days. Like, trying to eat 145 grams of protein is hard for me. But yeah, basically just reverse dieted. Because I wasn't in prep, I wasn't very strict with it. Then I started doing the whole IIFYM thing. So my weight's been fluctuating, not by much, by like 5 pounds. So don't get super scared that you're going to get fat while reverse dieting. That completely beats the purpose. You're increasing everything so slowly to prevent fat gain. And your energy in the gym is so much better. You have no idea. So yeah, I did that for a few months. I got up to the point where I was maintaining around 2,100 calories a day rather than 1,350. Like I said before, I wasn't leaning out eating that little. So yeah, I just built up my carbs. Sometimes I would go 5 grams of carbs more a week, other times 10, other times not at all, because I felt really bloated and fluffy. But overall, it's really the way to go. Even if, like, if you're not like me and you didn't drop out of your competition, if you do compete and whatever, you have your cheat meal after your competition, that's cool and everything, by all means. But after that, don't go back to just eating whatever the hell you want. You are going to gain so much weight. I've seen people, they're like, oh, but I'm still eating clean. And it's like, yeah, but you're eating way too much. When you prep for a show, your metabolism slows down from cutting down the calories. So you need to kind of compensate for that and just build it up slowly. So many people can benefit from reverse dieting. It's not only for competitors. If you've been dieting for a long amount of time, like I dieted for almost a year before I started prep, so my metabolism was already, pretty slow. It's unrealistic to kind of cut your calories down, then you reach your goal weight, but you're down to 1,200 calories a day. What are you going to do? Just eat 1,200 calories a day for the rest of your life? Like, that's not realistic. So, reverse dieting, it's awesome. You should do it. You kind of gotta put weight loss in the back of your mind, though. Like, in my shoes, I wasn't overweight, obviously. I'm nearly 5'8", and I was 142, and I have a good amount of muscle, so I was fairly lean. But I see a lot of, like, chubby girls. They have weight to lose, and they're down to 1,200 calories a day, and their fat isn't budging. Then they need to kind of put weight loss aside, build their calories back up, and then when they get to a decent maintenance level, then they can start cutting again. Not as low as 1,200 calories, obviously. But the thing is, fixing metabolic damage doesn't happen overnight. It takes several months. So if you're prepping for a show like I was and you're suffering from metabolic damage, then there's nothing you can do. Like, you probably shouldn't compete, and you should take a few months to kind of fix your metabolism. I see also a lot of people doing back-to-back-to-back shows, and they suffer from metabolic damage really bad. So it can benefit a lot of people. I talk about it a lot on my blog, and I get several questions about it. So I hope this helps a little bit. You can increase your fat periodically. I choose not to because I was already eating like 45 grams of fat at that point. Right now I'm up to about 55 grams of fat. I mean, you can increase it, but it's not totally necessary as long as you're not eating a diet so low in fat that you're screwing up your hormones, which also happened to me, but we won't get into that. Um, yeah, basically just increase your carbs, take it slow, stall all your macros if you notice that you're getting too fluffy. If you have any questions for me, my website is hungryforabs.com. You can email me, you can comment on my page. I just reactivated my Facebook. My name is Samantha Sullivan-Vogt. You can follow me on Instagram. All my contact information, I'll link it all at the bottom of the video. And follow me on Pinterest. Thanks, guys.